So, coming up on Saturday night at the Louis Armstrong Stadium, what a dirty little night of boxing we've got with Edgar Berlanga taking on Hamzah Sheeraz in the joint co-main alongside Shakur Stevenson defending his WBC lightweight title against William Zepeda. Both banging fights, to be fair, but for me, Edgar Berlanga against Hamzah Sheeraz is the one. That's the people's main event. Both massive punches, both with lots to prove. And it's been a spicy build-up so far. Both have been going at each other non-stop.
In the UK, we'd call him a sausage, and that's exactly what it is.
That's super mookie.
Any response to being called a sausage, Edgar?
And he's a dick eater. That's what we call in New York.
I shouldn't have asked. Should not have asked.
Yeah, a bit too much sausage talk going on there for me, but it is a fight that will deliver. Berlanga is the slight underdog. He currently has a record of 23-1 with 18 wins coming via knockout. In his last fight, he stopped Jonathan Ortiz inside a round, who'd only had 2 fights after a 10-year layoff. He came in horrendous shape, a very strange choice of opponent. He was unbeaten on paper, but very padded record. Berlanga also missed weight for that one, so a bit piss poor from him there, but it was a low-level fight, just a comeback fight after his loss to Canelo. He got dropped in round 3 with a left hook, and he did have a go in spells, but he acts like that was at the Thriller in Manila, and really, that was a one-sided beatdown where he didn't do a lot, and he did okay at times, you know, but it was just the same old story. Canelo drops his opponent, wins easy, does what he has to do, and his opponent sort of goes into his shell. So Berlanga definitely acts like he did a lot better in that fight than what he really did. But I think with more experience, he could have definitely put up a better fight. Other than Canelo, he's not really fought many big names. He did defeat Padraig McCrory via a 6-round KO. He also defeated Jason Quigley via a 12-round unanimous decision, dropping him 4 times. He did get dropped for the first time against Casores. That was on the undercard of Fury Wilder 3. He did recover to win a 10-round unanimous decision, so he can be hurt, Berlanga. But very much like in the Canelo fight, he did show really good powers of recovery. His defense is leaky, though, and that's something he's got to be wary of against Sheeraz. So yeah, I think Berlanga's got to be aggressive in this. I expect him to come out like a bull in a china shop. He's got serious power. Technically not the best, but he does hit very hard. He won his first 16 fights via first-round KO. Albeit against 16 taxi drivers. And there is a really good chance that he could catch Hamzah early and he could put him away. And you really wouldn't be surprised if both men hit the canvas in this. I think it's going to be a firefight from the off. I do feel as if Berlanga has to rough up Sheeraz. He is the home fighter, Berlanga, so that should give him some confidence. But the Slough Slugger will also be full of confidence. He currently has a record of 21-0-1 with 17 wins coming by knockout. Last time out, he got given a gift draw against Carlos Adames. That was for the WBC middleweight title. He just never got into it, Hamzah. He did break his left hand in round 3, but even before that, he didn't look at the races. He was getting outboxed. He was also extremely tight at 160, hence the move up to 168. I'm sure eventually he'll fill out to be a light heavyweight. So yeah, he definitely should have lost that. Turkey was screaming at ringside saying that he was down. I'd like to think there's nothing corrupt going on there, but Hamzah is one of his favourites. So yeah, basically Turkey paid off the judges, but before that, Hamzah had stopped his last 15 opponents. He was in unbelievable form. He destroyed Tyler Denny inside 2 rounds, stopped Ammo Williams inside 11 rounds. That was on the 5v5 card. He looked unbelievable that night. That's probably his best win. He also demolished Liam Williams inside a round. That was Liam Williams' last fight. He was completely spent, to be fair, but Hamzah looked sensational that night. He put him down with a jab inside the first minute, and then later on dropped him with a beautiful uppercut, and then Gary Lockett saved Liam Williams after taking a massive left hook from Hamzah later on. So he's got dynamite in both hands. He also stopped Maestrofonov inside 2 rounds. He dropped him in round 1 with a jab. He's got one of the best jabs in boxing. It's a ramrod jab that carries serious power as well. So that was another really good win for Hamzah. That got his name out there. That was on the undercard of Usyk Dubois 1 over in Poland. But he can be hurt, Hamzah. He actually got dropped against Francisco Torres in round 3, having had him down in the round earlier. He recovered well, Hamzah, and went on to stop Torres in round 5. And prior to that, he had a fight with Bradley Skeet that was more controversial than a DM from me at 4:30 in the morning after a night of Pablo. He was getting his head boxed off, and then he dropped Bradley in round 8 and then hit him clean on the floor 3 times. He went full on meatball Molly McCann. Steve Gray kindly took a point off. Yeah, cheers for that, Steve. Really helps Bradley out. That man did it. Just unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Obviously, Bradley went on to get stopped in the next round because he was completely concussed. So yeah, we definitely got away with one there, Hamzah, but I think he has learned a lot from that. He's not a dirty fighter in general. I just think his head went. But he'll have to keep his head in this fight because Edgar is a live underdog. Hamzah is a slight favourite going into it with the bookies, but it's more or less 50-50. I do expect Hamzah to win. I really like the link up with Andy Lee. You've just got to look at the job Andy's done with Joseph Parker, Paddy Donovan, and Ben Whittaker as well. They're all punching harder. They've all improved under Andy, and I think Hamzah will look as good as he's ever looked against Edgar on Saturday night. I expect him to outbox him early. I think he'll be a bit cautious, but I think once he starts catching him clean in the mid to late rounds, I think he'll hurt Edgar, and I think he'll put him away. So yeah, Hamzah via stoppage for me. I wouldn't be surprised with any result. Whatever happens, this will be an absolute banger. And in the co-main event, really good fight with Shakur Stevenson against William Zepeda. Shakur currently has a record of 23-0 with 11 wins coming by knockout. Last time out, he stopped late replacement Josh Padley inside 9 rounds. It was nice to see him get a stoppage for a change, but it was the least he should have done given the fact that Padley came in on days' notice. But he did what he had to do, Shakur. Defensively, he's very sound, probably the best defensive fighter in the world. And a very good body puncher as well, evidently. Every time he put Padley down, it was to the body. He's a southpaw, he's very awkward, not the biggest puncher in the world, but he's definitely a sharp puncher. His best win's probably Oscar Valdez. He beat him by a unanimous decision, but he did drop him in round 6 with a short right hand. And he probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. I mean, he's 28, he's a 3-weight world champion, but because he's not the easiest on the eye, comes across like a bit of a bell end in interviews. It is sometimes quite hard to warm to characters like that, but very good fighter, very effective, and I do make him a big favourite to beat Zepeda. I think if Shakur gets into his rhythm, it's going to be a really hard night for William, who will come into this with confidence. He can punch. He currently has a record of 33-0 with 27 wins coming via knockout. He's coming off 2 very suspect performances against Tevin Farmer. He won a split decision in their first fight but got dropped with a left hand in round 4. He did just about do enough to win, but it was a worrying performance going into the Shakur fight. He then rematched Tevin in Mexico, and you were thinking, okay, this time it's over 12 rounds rather than 10. He's going to put on a clinical performance. He's probably going to stop Tevin. And it was another worrying performance. He got dropped in round 12 with a left hand. It wasn't scored a knockdown. William did just about do enough to win a majority decision this time. And those 2 performances against Tevin aren't ones that have aged well, because since then, Tevin's been iced in a round by Floyd Schofield, who was ironically meant to fight Shakur Stevenson before Josh Padley stepped in. In hindsight, that would have been a really good fight with Shakur and Floyd. Floyd had to pull out due to illness on fight week, same as Daniel Dubois with Joseph Parker. So it was a shame we never got to see that fight, but I'm sure down the line we will. But I do think that Zepeda is a lot better than what he showed against Tevin both times. Against Maxie Hughes, he looked unbelievable, destroying him inside 4 rounds. He's also a southpaw, so hopefully it's not a bad clash of styles. I think the styles will match up well for a good fight. I think Shakur will be on the back foot as he always is. Zepeda will be coming forward, throwing lots of punches as he always does. And he's got a puncher's chance, Zepeda, if he can stick it on Shakur and put him out of his rhythm, make it uncomfortable for him. He could hurt him and he could stop him. I personally don't see it. I think Shakur will win this wide on points. I think Zepeda coming forward will play right into his hands. And I think Shakur will win a unanimous decision, but hopefully Zepeda knocks him out. Elsewhere on the card, we've got a really good fight with Alberto Puello defending his WBC super lightweight title against Subriel Mateas. I think Puello will outpoint Mateas, who does hit like a mule, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think he's been found out. He got schooled against Liam Parro, and I think Puello has got the blueprint there to defeat Mateas, but Mateas will be dangerous until the final bell. And as it stands, we do have a really good fight in the light heavyweight division with David Morrell taking on Imam Khalif. Sorry, that's the bird with the bigger cock than mine. He's meant to be fighting Imam Katiev, but Katiev's just failed a drug test for clomiphene, so fuck knows what's going to happen there. If it does go ahead, I think it's a really good fight. I think Morrell will probably win on points. He's the better boxer, but Katiev's got 9 knockouts and 10 wins. No wonder if he's been juicing. They've got to pull the fight, really, but we've seen fights go ahead when fighters have failed drug tests in the past, so there's no reason why this won't go ahead. Let's see. But yeah, anyway, guys, hopefully it'll be a good night of boxing. The Louis Armstrong Stadium looks bad, boy, to be fair. It's actually a tennis stadium, so there won't be a bad seat in the house. It holds about 14,000. And I'm personally buzzing my tits off for it all. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the boxing at the weekend, and I will see you all on the next one.